it's off of a scene off of Schindler's List. There's ashes coming off.
Yeah.
You know, everything's on fire. You know, like he said, yeah, it's crazy. So we're going to be talking about that. And, you know, before we forget, those firefighters out there that are containing this fire and that are, you know, missing time away from their families, especially on Labor Day. We want to thank you for your service. This firefighter is definitely a thankless job.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to be talking about that.
We are also finally going to figure out this with Warriors Garden. I'm really excited. This is a great book that I read.
And I can't wait to, you know, listen to that. And, you know,
I can't wait to either to watch that interview happen.
Well, you know, and the thing about it is we interviewed an author, you know, previous months, book five, what was it?
5 copies in a book.
5 copies in a book.
Love that.
We have started a MBR book club kind of thing, and we would like to invite you to that as well. We're going to be talking about that during the show.
Yep.
Hey, we want to help veterans. Maybe veterans, you know, they're not wanting to be DJs. Maybe they're, you know, kind of shy. Maybe your thing is, you know, getting lost in a book. Yeah, or, you know, something. But we're going to talk to you about our little book club that we got and invite you to become part of the MBR family in a different sense. So we're going to for sure do that. And then the ugly truth, Rob, you posted this. I think it was off the Disgruntled Vets group page. You posted this a couple of weeks ago. The picture read, basically, Warriors need to quit tearing each other down and building each other up.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about that
Definitely.
also.
Because it needs to happen.
Yeah, it really does.
Be like this to each other.
Exactly. And our tribute.
Be a better human.
And our no, you're good. You're good. And our tribute to the troop. Tribute to I just said troop. Tribute to the troop is Frank Tachi. I know I know I pronounced that wrong, but Chris does a great job of pronouncing it right. So make sure that you tune in for that.
Listen in.
Grab yourself a glass of Jack and Coke. Sit on that hammock, relax, and listen to the boys give you some good laughs.
We'll get you through this.
Yes. So whatever you do, we will see you at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen in. Tell Alexa, mbradio.us, giving our veterans a voice. Hey, everybody. It is that time. Yes, the Cue Ball posses are back in the studio.
I have a little bit of hair.
You do.
It's there.
So
I don't use it, but it's there.
Hey, we got a great show for you. I am recharged. My batteries are good, but I'm not for sure about yours.
I'm feeling pretty smoked.
He's pretty smoked, and we're going to explain to you why he's feeling pretty smoked today on the show, because that is going to be our What The segment. We're going to be talking about our ride challenges that we did.
There's a lot of them.
This weekend, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to slowly talk about the current situation that's going on here in Colorado. It's off of a scene off of Schindler's List. There's ashes coming off.
Yeah.
You know, everything's on fire. You know, like he said, yeah, it's crazy. So we're going to be talking about that. And, you know, before we forget, those firefighters out there that are containing this fire and that are, you know, missing time away from their families, especially.
Give energy to life. Be prepared for a new music transformation. And in a moment, you will be transported to this place. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
It's the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
I don't care if it sounds crazy and has a brain injury. He is funny as
We're definitely in support of those that serve.
Rock has 2 words of advice for you. Simply put, get ready.
There's a lot of nonprofit organizations out there.
I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Business to make dreams come true.
The HTrain Show.
HTrain show.
On your butt.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is the one. It is the only.
Thank goodness.
It is the HTrain Show. And we gotta reconnect this. There we go. Hey,
Wow, that's cool. How do you do that?
It wouldn't be an H-Train show without a little bit of H-Train problems.
I like our background.
You like that?
Can you turn up my headphones a little bit?
I can.
Just so I can I sound the sound of my melodious voice.
There we
That'll
go.
work. Yeah, it is.
Does that sound better?
It sounds a million. No, because I can hear myself.
Okay.
Is there a way to shut my? No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get. It's possible. I don't need to get these headphones from my wife if I can shut myself off.
Oh.
She'd really appreciate having them around the house, particularly when she's watching like Grey's Anatomy and things like that.
Well, I tell you what, and you was asking if we were live on Facebook Live.
We are, and I've got a whole bunch of people listening in, like my old boss and some friends from back from
Nice.
Maryland. Yeah.
Nice. The only thing that I forgot to do, and I'll do that right now, is I forgot to turn the phone lines on.
Well, because last time you and I were together, which was like a month ago,
You're right.
we had that one jerk that called.
Good times. Good times.
I can't believe we haven't seen each other in a month.
I know. Well, I think you guys did exceptionally well.
We sure gave it the best effort.
Well, I think you guys did exceptionally well. People, they just have to understand that this isn't a normal like radio station. Like, there's a lot of stuff that that goes into doing the whole show.
Well, normally it'd be right now. It's just you and me in this room.
Right.
Normally, if it was a normal radio show, you'd have your producer, you'd have
Yeah,
your engineer,
exactly.
You'd have dancing girls and all that stuff that goes with a normal radio show.
Right. Well, with the regular.
By the way, we are taking applications.
well,
For all those.
just so everybody knows that. Let me tilt this a little bit. There you go. Just so everybody knows, a normal radio station, like I interned at 104.3 The Fan a long time ago, and honestly, it takes about 6 to 7 people for a real radio station, and 2 people do this show.
Let's
total.
be honest. One person does it. I come in here, sit in a chair, and talk for 2 hours. One person does the job of 3 people. Let's be clear about that. When I every time we come in, I'm like, "Hey, dude, is there anything you need me to do to help?" And he's like, "No, don't touch anything."
Well, no, I don't say don't touch anything. I just say no. I'm good. But we do definitely have to. I do definitely have to teach you some stuff, because
I'm down.
you was getting frustrated because Moon was getting kind of frustrated.
That poor girl was getting her tail feathers kicked, and she handled it like a monster. She did awesome, but she was getting slaughtered. I felt bad for her. The look on her face when that 15-second loop wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for that girl. You could see like the I went to school for a year for this. I should be able to figure this out. And all you hear is our voices every 15 seconds looping over top of each other. So I don't know if you listen to the show, but
I did.
Tuesday nights, I go and I shoot bow and arrow with a group of friends.
Right.
They listen to the show on Monday nights. So I walked in, and you know those friends that are like, hey, man, you did great. And they're like patting you on the shoulder, and you can like tell, well, I jacked that up, didn't I? You know? They were like giving you that we're trying to be sympathetic because we know you had a really bad night kind of slap on the shoulder thing.
Right.
It was so transparent. I love those guys for it, man. It was awesome.
Well,
but it's good to have you back, man. How's your pops?
It's good to be back. You know, he's good. He's stubborn. My dad is stubborn.
A stubborn old
but
man.
He's good. Well, you know, he walks with this limp, and he keeps on talking about how, you know, he's had to have hip surgery. And I'm like, well, okay, Dad. Well, if it's hurting you,
sure it's not just a pimp walk?
Well,
it is Kokomo, Indiana, brother.
Look, when you have to like. When it's like a 3 seconds.
That's a pimp walk, dude. Your dad's a pimp. Your dad is the pimp.
There you
of
go,
Kokomo.
Dad. You are a pimp.
We got to get him like a big hat and some shoes with a fish in them.
With a big necklace with a clock that says, "Your Big Daddy."
We should get your dad a reality show.
You know what? I tell you what, and this is all honesty. Me and my dad. You know, we've never been close. We kind of bump heads.
Dude, you rode a motorcycle 1,800 miles to go see him. How is that not close?
Well, you know, as I've grown older, we've gotten closer.
Okay.
Okay, but you know, we do butt heads to a certain point, and I know when it's time to go, when we're sitting there, we're griping to each other back and forth about something, and then he looks at me and says, "When are you leaving again?"
Yeah. When did you say you were leaving? It's great having you here. Did you say when you were leaving?
Right. When he says that right there is the key phrase. Okay, it's time to jet. It's time to jet. It's been real. But it's time to jet. So
at least they didn't like move and like not tell you where they were moving to or something like that.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. No, he never did that. But it's you know.
My friend Christina just said, "Nice face tan. Look, I'm sunburned." Shut up.
Whoa. We're bikers. We don't get suntan. It's called windburn because we going so fast.
Well, according to the Wyoming State Patrol, that's completely accurate. But that's completely it's not my fault, man.
Whenever I got done with the skiing competition, like my wife would laugh at me because I'd come home and I'm all, you know, sunburned. She's like, "You got some sun. You got sunburnt." And I'm like, No. I didn't get no sunburn. That's a windburn, Cass. And then she would throw it in my face. She's like, "I seen you ski. That ain't no windburn." And I'm like, "Ouch."
You don't ride that motorcycle fast enough to get a windburn.
But you know,
you got too close to the barbecue again, didn't you? Yes, I did.
But I tell you what, it was a great experience.
The ride out
you
there,
know, right out there, and I got this app, and I'll share this app with you. It is an amazing app. You put your destination, and then you put where you're starting from, and it literally tells you when to leave and what time you'll arrive at your destination when there's no rain.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
Because the whole time that going there, no rain.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Dude, it poured the whole time I went through that same route.
I didn't get hit with rain at all. I will say this though, I was at the end of like Kansas, right beginning of Colorado, and I saw the storm clouds. And I was booking it. I was booking it like 80 because I was trying to outrun the rain. there was a couple of droplets that hit the windshield, but other than that, no rain whatsoever at all.
Hey, man, you ain't that sweet. You ain't going to melt. It's just a little bit of water, brother.
Hey, rain equals I have to slow a little bit down, like 40, 50, because I'm on that trike. Well, you got to think, all that weight.
And you got like Hyundai tires on that thing, so yeah.
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 And with
That's
all
a
that,
lot of bike.
with all that weight, and the road being slippery, you gotta, it's being safe. So
Listen to me talking trash, but I was doing the same thing. I was doing 45 on the highway on my bike when I was going through the pouring rain on that same route. So don't believe too much of my garbage.
yeah, I thought I had ticked you off because we were talking trash on Facebook. And then I said something about your battery or whatever, and I didn't. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing from Rod the whole weekend, and I'm like, oh boy, I pissed my co-host off. But the fact is that me and Rob did something great the last 2 weeks. I did a challenge. And you just came back from, and we'll be talking about this during the What The segment, but you went to Wyoming, and you went to a place that I've never been that I want to go, and that's Yellowstone. I want to see the steam, the pop.
Old Faithful.
Yeah.
We went there.
Yeah.
It's on fire right now. All of Yellowstone is burning to the ground. All of Wyoming is burning to the ground. As we were pulling out of Wyoming, there was a forest fire just getting started just outside of Jackson, Wyoming. So, yeah, the place is burning to the ground, man. A lot of places out west are burning right now. I know California's in a bad way. Colorado is in a real rough spot right now. We need what's coming tomorrow. All you firefighters and whatnot, thank you for what you're doing, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
If you're listening to this radio program right now, I'm so sorry for you. But thank you for what you're doing. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping our state as safe as you possibly can. I know you guys are getting your butts kicked right now.
So I don't know, just before anybody writes me, especially Amanda, I know you can hear us. I'm not for sure how the video is because the video, it looks like it's going in and out kind of.
Yeah, I'm seeing it on my screen too.
I don't know if, you know what? I'm going to see if I can fix that.
Uh-oh.
Tell us a little bit about your ride, Rob, while I just want to check the settings on this video.
But I'm having more fun watching you do whatever it is that you do. Mashing check marks, all kinds of, wow. And well, hey, I mean, after what, Jen and I did to this place. And by the way, I feel air conditioning. I'm very excited about that. That is easily my favorite part about being back here. Because for a while there, it was bad. I think we had it on the setting for London broil in this room for a hot minute.
It doesn't take very long.
Moon and I were
for it to get hot in here. That's for sure. So Max is telling us the video is dragging, and Nate is telling us that I'm a bit quiet, which are words I've never heard before. Right.
So,
that's okay.
So I have to assume. Oh, whoa, buttons. There you go.
Yep. I'll turn you up a little bit, and hopefully the video fixes it. If the video doesn't fix it, then we'll fix it during the music break.
We will burn this place down, Pookie.
Yeah. Not a problem.
Hey, Nate, let us know if that's a little bit better, if that helped at all.
So
I know I sound significantly louder in my head.
And, it could also be the internet because, remember, there is a fire going on, and the fire could be messing with the lines. And
he says better, so nice job. See, look at you, turning knobs and stuff like that. Look, it's good to have you back. Look at you.
Hey,
But I love that you know what every button in this room does.
But you and Moon did a really good job. You guys really did.
That was all her, man.
And I tell you what, you asked me if I was watching. I watched every Monday. I watched on Twitch. And if you haven't figured it out on it, it's awesome. You go to everybody has whatever they're streaming off of. if it's a Roku, if it's a Fire Stick, if it's a Shield TV, it doesn't matter.
I understood three of the words you just said.
Whatever you have, if you go to apps and you install Twitch and you look up HTrain Show, you can literally watch it right there on your TV. I absolutely loved it.
People can watch us on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You poor public. No kidding. Max says, I didn't say the video was dragging. I said, when are you doing the show in drag?
Oh, that's all you, man.
Again?
That's all you.
It'll be like the third time.
That's all you. But, hey, I tell you what, talking about dragging, Rob's going to tell you what we're doing this Saturday.
We are at Grand Prix Motorsports in Littleton, Colorado. We will be broadcasting live. I forget what the event is off the top of my head, but I'll look it up on our first music break. Yeah, we will be there. Colorado Biker Lawyer will be there. Grand Prix always puts on a great event. Whatever the event is, if you just show up to it, you're going to have a great time. They're really good people. Melissa, their marketing chick. Can you say chick? Marketing girl? Marketing person? Marketing gender fluid individual.
The marketing Wonder Woman.
She is that. She will be. Yeah, she always puts on an amazing event, whatever it may be. So yeah, whatever. Come out to Grand Prix Motorsports this coming Saturday in Littleton, Colorado. You'll have a good time. Long story short.
Yes, and we haven't figured it out. I still have to talk to Rob, but there's been 6 special requests.
Goodness.
That we do the bad joke shot collar challenge again.
Good thing it's only 6, so we don't have to actually follow through. But yeah, we can definitely come up with something else.
Yes. All right, everybody, it is that time. We're going to go on our first music break, but just so you know, when we come back, we're going to be interviewing, what's his name?
The author of A Warrior's Garden. I'm going to let him pronounce his name.
Okay.
Because it's an awesome name to read.
All right.
It's Malachus is what his name is.
Okay. Yeah, I totally screwed that one up.
Yeah, me too.
But that's okay, everybody. We will be back in a couple of music song breaks. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain Show.
Up for the Troops is a national nonprofit organization who uses the game of golf to help veterans as they transition from the battlefield to the home front. Our mission at Tee It Up for the Troops is to honor, remember, respect, and support all those who have served in the armed forces for the United States of America. Whether they've been injured or they're suffering from some of the invisible wounds of war, we want them to know that we stand ready to help them as they take that next step in life.
I have focused more after being on a golf course. I'm generally happier, and I owe it all actually to this organization. I mean, I really wouldn't be where I'm at physically and mentally and quite frankly emotionally if it hadn't been for meeting and getting to know people in this organization.
As these military men and women return to their communities, we want them to know that there are great organizations out there to help them make that transition. And with our many connections to veteran service organizations around the country, we can make a positive difference for America's veterans and our military families. Teed Up for the Troops looks to support our veterans and military families through 6 key areas of support: suicide prevention, PTSD and traumatic brain injury treatments, employment and career pathing, sports and golf rehabilitation, housing and homelessness, and family and caregiver support. With your help and our many connections to veteran service organizations across the country, we can make a positive difference in the lives of these American veterans.
Common Ground Golf Course looks like a postcard. The USGA thought so much of this championship layout, they made it the companion course for the 2012 U.S. Amateur. Last fall, Common Ground was the victim of Mother Nature and the floods that devastated Aurora. Today, it reopened to the public. One of the best deals in Colorado is back in play.
Just the fact that we're back out here and able to play the full course today is amazing.
Dave Troyer has a bounce in his step. He's the director of golf at Common Ground Golf Course. 8.5 months ago, you needed a boat to navigate some of its fairways.
For 3.5 weeks, we had 6 to 8 feet of water on half the golf course, and it was a devastating blow to everything that we built over the last 5 years here.
September's floods gave new meaning to the term water hazard.
Once it drained off, everything was dead. We had to go through the whole process of regrassing everything down there. You know, we resodded 5 greens, reseeded 6.5 fairways.
In the golf business, that's tough to swing.
Being closed, you know, the hard costs and the lost revenue over the time, it was over $1 million hit for us.
Golfers were forced to make do on a modified 9-hole layout. But there's good news. The grass is finally greener on the other side.
Going from water to brown, dead grass to what you see today in such a short time is amazing. Now that we're going to get some 80-degree weather, it'll just explode. And as you can see, it looks like it's in phenomenal condition already, so we're ready to go.
The comeback is nearly complete.
We're going to play winter rules on these for the first month, 6 weeks. We'll see what it takes. I would say it would be middle end of the summer before it matches the conditions of the rest of the course. Can't beat the tees and can't beat the greens, and you can always find a good lie in the fairway.
One of Common Ground's missions is to give a championship experience at an affordable price. If you're a golfer, you need to check it out. Thank you to Dave, Andy, and Arthur for letting
Project Sanctuary helps reconnect military families so our nation's heroes can finally come home. Find out how you can help at projectsanctuary.us.
Hands down, this has been the best week of my entire life.
This organization is absolutely fantastic.
I was just blown away.
Incredible time with awesome brothers.
I really had no idea how much this was going to do for me.
I'm happy. It's been just a blessing.
These last few days have been awesome, sharing my story and riding with people who still care.
What a great opportunity to be here with your brothers and connect, talking to each other about shared experiences and getting able to sort of unload in a group of people that you're immediately comfortable with.
Some of our problems are all very much the same.
We're all in it together.
This program has just an amazing value.
It's really helped me look at myself as well as see others that are in the same situation that I've been in.
I think I finally recognized my worth.
I can't tell you, how meaningful I think the workshops, the camaraderie, and the discussions, and the writing that we've had have been for me.
The bonding with the other guys has been just as good, if not better, than the riding.
It's like we've almost all known each other for a long time.
11, incredible dudes from all parts of the country, with similar experiences, similar backgrounds, similar affinity for motorcycles.
Learn more about each other and how to deal with the stresses of life.
The depth of that relationship is absolutely amazing to me.
These people now, they'll be brothers for the rest of my life.
This organization is extremely valuable.
We'll always have this, and I'll always be able to connect with these guys that kind of get what it is to be a veteran.
Taking home a lot of gratitude.
One of the best weeks of my entire life. I thank everybody for participating.
I just can't say thank you enough.
I think you've saved a lot of lives.
I enlisted, ready to serve, ready to defend, but my fight has just begun.
Help this hero win his fight. Visit hopeforthewarriors.org
My name is
today.
Kirk Bauer. I'm Executive Director of Disabled Sports USA. I was in the infantry, in the Delta region. It was an explosion. It flipped me over. I could tell I'd been hit bad. I spent 6 months in the hospital. Some veterans came to me. They had actually just begun an organization of disabled Vietnam vets and 10th Mountain Division World War II vets. When someone becomes disabled, the process of getting back into life, to regaining your confidence, to regaining your hope, to being a full participant in society is not an easy one. It's not a straight line. It's a struggle. It's a day-to-day struggle. I can't think of a better example than the young warrior that I went up Kilimanjaro with, Neil Duncan. He had been blown up in the highlands of Afghanistan. His 2 legs were off. He was breathing through a tube in his neck. You talk about a guy who's on the edge of death, who was just about finished. Neil Duncan was that man. When he finally got out of the hospital, we got him involved in sports. In his exuberance, Neil decided he was going to climb Kilimanjaro, and he just joined up with a group that didn't know anything about disabilities. They moved him too fast. He got up to 16,000 feet and couldn't make it any further. He was defeated. He had to come back. He said it was the hardest decision he ever made. He came to me and said, Kirk, I have failed, and I can't live with myself. I know I can do the mountain, but we have to do it right. Will Disabled Sports USA help me?
Mind strong, body strong, try to find equilibrium.
Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You are going to face situations where you're going to be disappointed or discouraged or defeated. Don't let that stop you. Pick yourself back up and go on. And Neil made it to the top.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the best station that plays today's hits and today's connections to help our military transition to civilian life. Keep watching. Due to copyright laws, we cannot play via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. If you'd like to listen to our music, feel free to download our MBR app. You can find the app at our website, which is www.mbrradio.us. That's www.mikebravoradio.us. Or you can hit us up iTunes and Android store. Keep listening. We will be right back. I promise.
The HTrain show.
All right, and we are back, and you are listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain show, and bear with us as we bring our special guest on. Just give us a second here.
If you are watching the show live on Facebook, first of all, we appreciate it because you get to see all the support we get from all of our sponsors. So we really appreciate that. However, you're missing some of the awesome tunes that Moon programs for us. And she puts together some great music. So if you get the chance, I would highly recommend you download the app. I would highly recommend that you go to the website, or I would recommend that you ask Alexa to tune in Military Broadcast Radio.
There we go, and we have our special guest interview. It's the interview of the week, and if you didn't already know, ladies and gentlemen, our interview of the week is brought to you by...
Today's interview of the week is brought to you by Colorado Moto Service. We make motorcycles happy, and they tend to make their owners even happier.
Those are the only people that get to touch my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I love Colorado Moto. Is that Malachus Gaskin? Is that him?
Malachius.
Malachius? Is that him?
How are you?
I'm good, guys. How you doing?
Better now that you're here, dude. This is what, our third attempt at putting this together? Third, fourth, something like that?
Divided by the gross national product of Zimbabwe plus...
all the tea in China, and here
you
finally
like all the
are.
Things. So,
man, it is good to finally talk to you.
Oh, same here, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm pretty smoked tonight. We did a $1,200-mile motorcycle ride. Other than that, I am perfect.
I saw that. Dude, your butt's got to be sore.
In spots, it's you spend one night in federal prison and it feels exactly the same. You know how that goes. So,
what's interesting is he came off of the ride directly here.
Yeah. Oh, I went home and shoveled in food. I had hash browns and those little weenies.
Oh, okay.
They were delicious with barbecue sauce on them.
Oh yeah,
goodness,
that is good.
It's really good. Yeah, it was. All for you, man. I'm here for you, brother.
I'm here for you, bro.
And we are here for the veterans. And I tell you what, I've been gone, so Rob hasn't had a chance, but because I have this double vision thing, I can't exactly read. So Rob's going to read me a bedtime story sooner or later, and he's going to read me this book of yours because I've heard nothing but good things. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are and Mr. Gaskin, I can't even try to attempt to pronounce your first name.
He's going to say it right now. Listen,
okay.
Go ahead. Say it again.
Malachias.
Malachi.
See?
Oh, kind of like Malachi, Makahini Ho kind of thing.
Sort of, but not exactly the same. And it would probably piss him off if every time you said that way. He's a generous man, but I don't know if he's that generous.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, he's here to talk to us about this book called The Warrior Garden. And
so it's not just a book, right?
Okay.
You have a book, you have a podcast, what else you got going on there?
Oh, so it started out as just a book, and then it became a book with a workbook, with a workshop, with a podcast, with a nonprofit, and then a product line of materials for gardening, and we're going to be moving into some other realms as well. But it kind of started out with, I was going through a medical retirement from the military, and a buddy of mine was like, you should write a book about all the different things you're doing. And, at the time I was a high school dropout, and I was like, shut up, dude. Nobody's going to read that book.
I can't draw that many pictures. Come on.
I know, right? I can barely draw a stick figure.
So, and HTrain makes an excellent point. Due to head injury, he is not able to read all that well, so because of the double vision and all that stuff. Is it available in audiobook yet?
It's not yet. We're actually in the process. I've actually had this question a lot lately with a lot of our veterans having had multiple traumatic brain injuries, is that I'm in the process of remodeling our attic and turn it into a changing room / walk-in closet for my wife. And because I'm doing it myself out of my, I'm not hiring somebody. So as soon as I'm completed with that, we're actually going to fire up the equipment and we're going to do an audiobook.
Very cool. Who are you going to get to read it?
I'm probably going to do it myself because I can't afford to pay anybody. Because,
you got to be able to get what's his name? Who played Darth Vader? What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. But whatever. The same guy.
James Earl Jones?
Yeah. I mean, come on. I'm sure he'd be willing to donate
70
his
grand.
time.
I probably got that. It's all good.
I'm sure he'd be willing to donate his time. Can you imagine your book being read by James Earl Jones? That would be sweet.
If I could get it in his hands, I would do that yesterday. So if you've got an inside, you just let me know. Let's just make that happen.
Oh, dude, there are tons of celebrities that listen to this show.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're listening right now and you're sitting up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and with your feet kicked up, hey, reach out to us because A Warrior's Garden is looking for a celebrity to read it for their spoken version of it. So
I want Ally McBeal to read my book.
Okay. I only know faces. I don't really know names. Who's this Allie?
Ally McBeal?
Yeah, remind me.
It was a TV show. She was a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Callista Flockhart, yeah. I think it's, isn't she married to Harrison Ford?
Is she?
She's married to Han Solo, so I mean.
Get out. Is she really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think they've been married for 20-some years or something like that.
Later, if you listen to the show later tonight, which you probably won't, when it comes to our 2 minutes warning and what did you learn today, that's going to be what you learned today. So I appreciate that.
There it is.
So tell us how the book comes about.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of a medical retirement board. I was an infantryman and I was a medic and I deployed doing both jobs on one deployment. And then I came home and I had auditioned for an Army band to be a vocalist, and I got accepted. And so the second time I went to Iraq, I went over as a rock star. for the Army. And then I came home and I didn't have an EMT license anymore because I spent, 26 some months prepping and then deploying and then performing and then not worrying about being a medic, right? Come home and Sergeant Major Washington maybe I shouldn't say his name. You might want to bleep that. I don't know.
We'll edit that out later. Don't worry, not a big
Okay.
deal. By the way, this is live radio, just so you're clear. So don't drop any F-bombs like some of our guests have done.
No, I don't do that.
Keep talking.
And so Sergeant Major, he was in charge of all MEDAC Army-wide. He was stationed at Fort Sam Houston. He calls me up on my private cell phone, and I've got my hearing. I talk through my hearing aids, right? And he goes, he's like, "You got me on speaker, soldier?" And I was like, "No, who the hell is this?" And he goes, "This is Sergeant Major so-and-so." And I'm like, and again, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm the Sergeant Major. I'm the MEDAC Sergeant Major for the Army." And I was like, "Okay, Sergeant Major, how can I help you? Do you have me on speaker?" "No, Sergeant Major, you're in my hearing aids because I'm deaf." And he goes, "Oh." I'm like, "So can we start over? Like, I don't even know what's going on right now." And so he called me out on my EMT license. I went and retook the test. I failed it. And so he was like, "We're going to kick you out. You got 30 days. We're going to chapter 13 you. I'm going to lose all my stuff." And a couple days later, one of my soldiers and I got into an argument, and I punch a glass door and it explodes. I'm going a long way to give you this little story here, but
okay.
Oh, that's okay. We got time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, take the path you want.
So this door explodes. It's a glass door, like it's a movie theater, right? It explodes everywhere. My commander looks at me and says, "Go have a cigarette. I'll be out with you in a minute." And I'm like, "Okay, there it is. I'm going to get reduced in rank. I'm going to get Article 15. I'm going to have half a month's pay. I'm already getting chaptered. Like, everything's just going downhill from here, right?" My first sergeant comes out, or my commander comes out, tells me, "Get in his truck," takes me to this lady, which I can't remember her name, but she was the head of behavioral health on post at Fort Stewart. And I get to her office, and she was just like, she goes, "Tell me your story." And so I'm already livid, right? And so I just pour everything out. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, "Okay." She goes, "You're not telling me what I need to hear." I'm like, "Well, what do you want to effing hear? Because this isn't a game. This is my life. Like, I've done 28 months in Iraq. I've saved lives, done all the things. I've done things I wasn't supposed to do, like all the stuff." I'm like, I'm getting kicked out. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she goes, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to send your packet to a colleague of mine. If he says you should be med boarded, I'm going to put you in a medical retirement board. If he says no, like, you're done, man. You've got about 25 days left." And I stood up. I said, "F you." I walked out of her office, went home. That was on a Thursday morning. Come back on Friday morning, and she looks at me and she goes, "So your med board starts on Monday?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, so my colleague had your packet for 5 minutes and then was on the phone with me, instantly cussing me out about, why are you still in the military? You should have been med boarded years ago." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so I started going through this. It ended up being a 2.5-year long med board.
Wow.
Because they couldn't consolidate, for some reason, my National Guard medical records with my regular Army medical records. They had a really hard time figuring that out.
Inefficiency in the government. You almost never hear stories like that. Huh.
Figure the friggin' odds, right?
That's crazy. So keep talking.
Yeah. So I had met this gentleman. I was working with some soldiers that I was with in the band on writing some new music and writing songs that were about my trauma and my time in combat and all that stuff. And this guy reaches out to me and he's like, "Hey, dude, I'd really love to talk to you about your story." And he's like, "I'd love to have a film crew come down to Fort Stewart and do a documentary on you about how you're using music as a way to cope." And I was like, "You know what, dude, yeah, let's do it." So we actually went the legit route, right? We went through and put together a proposal for PAO, which is public affairs of the Army. We submitted an entire request, a packet, and all these things. And then while this is happening, I'm going through all these steps. And I'm writing new music. We're booking time in the studio. We're prepping everything. And about 4 or 5 months later, I get a phone call from Building 1 on post at Fort Stewart and says, "Hey, we need you to come talk to this full-bird colonel." I'm like, "Oh, snap, I'm in trouble."
Yeah,
So,
it's never good when you're standing on the carpet in front of a full bird.
No. And so I as soon as I open his door, he's like, "Sergeant Gaskin, what's going on?" But he's like super happy. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm getting set up here. What's going on?"
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, I just got this request from LA, from the Army PAO, and from all the stuff. They want you to do this documentary. Tell me about it." And so I spend a half an hour telling this guy the whole story about how we got to this documentary. And he goes, "Man, that's amazing. I'm really sorry. We can't let you do this." And I'm like, "Wait, what? We submitted this 5 months ago, sir. Like, why not?" And he was like, "You're in the middle of med board. You're restricted from going on record. You can't do anything that has to do with the press, an interview, nothing." And I'm like, "Oh, snap. Are you serious?"
I didn't realize that
and
was
I'm
a
like,
regulation. I had no idea.
"Yeah, that's what he told me." And so I was like, "Sir, I got to go." And he's like, what? I'm like, they're buying tickets this week. Like, I got to go let them know not to get here because they're going to be here in 2 weeks. And he was like, oh, go, 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 go. And so I go outside. I turn my phone back on, because you're in building 1. It's so secured. You can't have this. So I get my phone turned back on and I call and I'm like, dude, X-Row, like, stop now. Don't come. I can't do it. I'll call you later and explain. He's like, okay, I'll let everybody know. So I called him that night and I was like, hey, dude, so this is the situation. Explain it. And he was like, okay. He goes, let me do some thinking about this and I'll call you tomorrow. I'm like, all right. He calls me the next day and he's like, you should write a book, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, you should write a book about all the different, because at that time I kind of transitioned from just music to gardening and to like family fishing trips and getting deeper and rooted in my faith and, just all these different, like I wasn't okay with just doing one thing. I needed a whole bunch of things. Right. And I wanted a lot of it. And so he was just, and I had been talking with him throughout this whole journey. And he's like, you should write a book about all the different things you're doing. I'm like, dude, I'm a high school dropout. No one's going to read. Like, I'm not a sergeant major. I'm not a colonel or a general. I'm a sergeant who was formerly a sergeant first class who got reduced because I spent too much time out of service and came back in as an E5. And then because I was National Guard prior, I didn't have enough time in service to get promoted as I went. So I'm sitting here as an E5 max on pay from the day I got in the Army. And so I was like, you know what, fine, screw it. I'll write a book, whatever. And the book has turned into, it was a roadmap of what I've done for myself.
Uh-huh.
And it's really turned into, like, we created a workbook. We created a trauma workshop that I teach how to develop healthy coping mechanisms.
It reads as that.
And when you messaged me about this, a lot of people say this to me, and I didn't notice it when I wrote it because I was the one writing it, I guess, is that it reads as if I'm there narrating it to you.
Yes, exactly.
And I used my GI Bill when I got out and got my degree in psychology. And one of my professors he's the guy that wrote the autobiography. Ghost wrote the autobiography for the guy that wrote Field of Dreams.
Okay.
And he's a PhD in English lit and all that stuff. And when he read it, he came back and said, dude, because you wrote this as if I was sitting in the room with you. It's very conversational.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, cool. Thank you. And he goes, that's a very hard style to master. And I'm like, I just wrote. Like, I don't know what.
I just told the story. I didn't do anything with it. Yeah, I just put it on. Did you actually do? I mean, I haven't written a book. I've barely read most of them. Do you actually like sit down in front of a laptop and start typing? Is that how you do it? Or
I did with that one. I sat down. I wrote it. Well, actually, what I did with that one was I wrote an outline, and then I adjusted my outline and adjusted my outline, and then the outline became the chapter titles.
Uh-huh.
And then I just started filling in underneath the chapter title. And then when I was done, I sent the whole transcript to my publisher, who was the guy who was telling me to write it. He was like, if you write it, I'll publish it. And so I wrote it and sent it to him. And I had never done red letter, blue letter edits in Word before.
Okay.
And so he sent it back to me and said, hey, this is how we do this. And so we went back and forth with about 3 or 4 edits. And I was just like, I'm happy with it. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, we're working on the cover right now. I'm going to get your ISBN number. We're working on your website. We're going to get all this done. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
Oh, so
I went from
you're
not being able to be on record to publishing a book without permission while I was still on active duty. And my entire unit, almost everybody bought a copy on the release date. Because they all thought it was just amazing that I was writing a book.
When I came across your website, I think it might have been your Instagram actually. I was driving in the middle of nowhere, like I think it was in like Wyoming or something like that, and I had my wife go look for places to buy the book, and she found it on Target, I think it was, and we bought a bunch of copies, and I kept one for myself so I could read it, and we gave a bunch away. I have a friend from the Coast Guard, and she asked if she could have a copy, and I think I blasted it out. I'm like, hey, who needs a copy? And I gave away a whole bunch of copies. And I got a lot of feedback, which is why you're here right now. It's a very well written book. If other people want to find the book A Warrior's Garden, where should they go to find it?
So if you buy it from Target or you buy it from Amazon or you buy it from any of these websites, that aren't mine, I get 60%, I think it is 65% of the proceeds from that book.
Cool.
And I don't keep any of the money. All that money goes to my nonprofit Warfighter Gardens, where we build therapy gardens for vets, first responders, and Gold Star families.
I've seen that.
And then if you buy it directly from my website, I keep 92% of the proceeds from that book. All goes to my nonprofit. I don't keep any of the money. Like I don't make money off of any of my merchandise, off of my book, off of any of that stuff. It all goes to our nonprofit where we support veterans and veterans families.
What is the website?
www.awarriorsgarden.com.
And you're on what social media platforms are you on?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We've got the website. I'm working on, apparently Parler is becoming a thing. I have a LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is more of, I don't know. I haven't really cracked the nut on how to use that one properly, I guess.
Okay.
But I have a LinkedIn, but it's not under a Warriors Garden. It's under Malachias Gaskin.
Okay. And we'll post all of these in the show notes tonight, this afternoon, folks.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah, and then they can message me or call me directly through my website as well. So
all
my
website?
contact
That's
information
cool.
is on there.
Wow. That's a pretty high-speed website right there.
We kind of built it originally with the idea of I wanted it to look professional to kind of add credibility, because I had the Chinese government calling me going, hey, we want you to come over here and talk about using agriculture the way that you do, because I was using it as a way to mitigate PTSD, trauma, and suicide.
Uh-huh.
And so they brought me over to China in 2016 to speak about it. And I was like, at that point, I'm like, okay, I need to start, literally, it needs to start looking better, because I had a Wix site to begin with.
Yeah.
So I went and paid for one of these really cool templates that are really nice. It's clean, it's professional. We built a store around it. The store now has where you can get the books, the shirts, the hats, the stuff. And again, all that goes to our nonprofit. Like nobody's making money off this.
I'm going to ask the question that all of our viewers are thinking.
Yeah.
When you were in China, did you meet General Tao, and did you ask him about his chicken recipe?
That dude is so elusive, bro. Like, we were walking. No, I'm kidding.
Me too.
I got to be honest though. Like, I came home spoiled on Chinese food.
Oh no,
and
not eating beef and broccoli anymore, huh?
I can't eat at a chicken restaurant or a Chinese restaurant anymore. Like, I can't do it because it's not Chinese food. We have actually one spot up in Nashville, which is about an hour from where I'm at.
Yeah.
Where I can go up to Nashville and we can get, it's called the Lucky Bamboo. It's a really great place. But they have an actual legit, you can book a room and they will give you a legit Chinese experience where, I mean, it's, oh my God, it's a big table with a lazy Susan that spins, and it's about 6 or 7 courses. And I don't think I saw fried rice in China the whole time I was there. Like, that's an American thing. Like, it's not even.
So, any more books on the way?
Well, we've got on Amazon only, I have a digital version of a book called A Warrior's Garden the Chinese Way, which is about my trip to China.
Okay.
And how it kind of converted into me talking about just that to, I started to meet their veterans and started to talk to them, because I didn't know they were even fighting in a war. Like, they've been fighting radical Islam in Mali for years. I didn't know that.
I didn't either until this conversation.
And so I got to meet a bunch of their combat vets, and we got to sit down. I had a private interpreter that worked for me, and we did all the things and talked and got to know each other. And I mean, the camaraderie that instantly happened when they realized that you're a combat vet and they're a combat vet, like, we started picking on each other, like just jabbing at each other, passing around drinks to each other. It was just a really great time. And I really felt at that point, like, I felt like I was at home, dealing with these war fighters from another nation. And then we started talking about farming, and every one of them. Huh?
That's amazing how you connect, isn't it?
It is. It's crazy. And we started talking about agriculture and how I was using it. And they're like, every one of them, when they came home, they went straight into agriculture. They started growing their own food and raising their own chickens and just doing their own thing and just trying to be off the grid as much as possible, because I didn't want to deal with people anymore. And I think it's one area why agriculture is so kind of sexy to veterans, is that you can do it by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it alone.
I encourage every veteran, if you are having a hard time, if you are and need a way to relax, start a garden. It doesn't have to be big. Start it small. No. Better yet, get this book, read the book, then start a garden.
There's a map in the book on how to start your first garden.
Yes, there is. Yes, there absolutely is.
Like, I mean, we did so the whole reason that came about was, like, the gardening part anyway. I was going to therapy every week. I was pouring my heart out, and I finally went into my therapist and I go, I come in here every week. I pour my heart out. I tell you things that I'm not comfortable telling my wife, because I don't want to see the look on her face when I tell her what I had to do in combat. Like, I don't want to see that, because that will break me. I said, what am I supposed to do? Help me. And she goes, I don't know. Get a dog, start a garden. And she said it just like flippant, like, just, I don't know, get a dog, start a garden. And I literally flipped my chair. I cussed her out. I walked out of the building. I went home. I told my wife, my therapist said, get a dog. And my wife said, you're not getting a dog. And I have 2 now, by the way.
Grow a carrot.
And then she goes, well, what else your therapist say? And I'm like, Stoga. She's like, what? I'm like, Stoga. What? Start a garden. She's like, let's go. I'm like, what? Get in the van. We jump in the van. We go to Lowe's. I buy wood, dirt, seed. We come home. It's 9 o'clock at night. She's got 2 flashlights. And I'm building a 4-foot by 4-foot raised bed in my backyard on post in post house.
And
now, for any of you veterans out there who lived on post, who did something different in your backyard than anybody else was doing, you know right away, within weeks, I had someone from the housing community coming over going, what is this? And I was pulling weeds, and I jumped up and I go, this is my therapy garden. I have PTSD. Leave me alone. And the lady goes, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. And then like I started building gardens for other service members on post, like we were there. But it really just turned into this, I needed to do something. And I felt like, when I started growing, it's really kind of turned into this, are you familiar with like Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
I am.
So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if I can meet some of the creature comforts and I can take those stresses away, I can reduce anxiety, depression, and stress, right? And so if I can take away the need for finances because I'm mitigating your food budget because I've taught you how to grow your own food. And now you have this therapeutic process, which is reducing natural anxiety. You're getting your hands in the dirt. You're producing your own food. So now I'm taking away the need for food. I'm taking away the need for finances for that food, right? So 3 of your Maslow's hierarchies are being met in one movement, right? And all you did was put a few seeds in the ground.
It's surprisingly not as challenging as people think it is, and it is totally worth. Do you garden?
No, I have a black thumb. I don't have a green thumb.
So, and which you make an excellent point. I murder plants. I mean,
your garden looks gorgeous this year.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah, okay. That's not the way my wife sees it.
I have a couple.
I
of
appreciate
flowers.
you saying that, though.
I have a couple of flowers in a whiskey barrel, and yeah, they died, but
you got to give them more Brando.
More Brando.
Yeah, it's what plants crave. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Hey, so we are coming up on our give them the button.
Oh, it is and I have a brand new video for that too as well.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were on vacation. You were working on vacation?
Oh yeah, like that doesn't really surprise you. Come on.
We'll play the video then.
Okay, here we go.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Law Offices of Diane Sawaya. That's smart, aggressive, compassionate. It's more than a slogan, it's our mission.
This is your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine.
I really like that you got NSYNC to do that song for us. That's really, really cool of you.
There we go. Okay.
So, Malachus, check it out. It's your time to shine. We're coming to the end here. There may have been a question I didn't get to. There may have been a point I didn't get the chance to make. There may have been something you wanted to talk about that we didn't hit on. Now is your time. Tell us what it is that we skipped over or missed that you want to still talk about.
So we've got a new book that's coming out hopefully by the end of this year. It's called Beyond the Garden, and it's basically a warrior's garden with all the peer-reviewed data. It's all the proof of why it works the way it works, and then it breaks down because I've created this pillar of coping, this pyramid of coping that I've created, which is based off of what I believe everybody has 3 pieces to what makes them whole, which is spirituality, creativity, and physicality, right? And if I can engage one piece of each on a regular basis, that will naturally mitigate and reduce stress and anxiety. And I know that sometimes when I say spirituality, people freak out and they're like, well, I don't believe in religion, or I don't believe in God, or whatever, or I'm Buddhist, or I'm this, or I'm that. I don't care what you worship or what you believe or what your faith system is or lack of, right? There's something in your life that when you're doing it, it gives you a connection or a feeling of you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And that is your spirituality, right? For me, it's my faith in God. For some people, it's service to others.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Creativity-wise, it's a mental aspect. So it's either you're building, designing, creating, painting, drawing, music, whatever, or it's a mental aspect of problem solving or something like that, right? So you're engaging your brain individually. And then physically, it's the one thing that, it's a physical activity that will get you outside of your 4 walls. So it's not video games, it's not movies, it's not Netflix, right? It's something that every time if I came over, kicked in your door and said, let's go do this, you would go out and do it. And for me, it's gardening. My buddy Josh, it's going to the gym. My friend Nicole, it's going on hikes. Like there's a physical aspect that you will always go do. You will default to it, right? And then we take those 3 pieces and I teach people how to intertwine them and connect them into groups, giving them 7 total coping mechanisms so you have 1 for every day of the week.
Cool.
We have a trauma recovery workshop that we teach. And this is really morphed into, we teach a trauma recovery workshop, we teach anger management, and then I work with our local court system where I work with our juvenile court system and teach it to the kids. And then we have a workshop that's coming up October 4th, which you can get tickets on our website to be in person. It's an 8-hour workshop. You get personal interaction with me, you get breakfast, lunch, a copy of the book, a copy of the workbook, and then 8 hours of developing, learning how to mitigate all those stressors.
Very cool. All
and
right.
a holistic opportunity. So.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, folks. So we've been talking with Malachius Gaskin. Malachius. Man, I was close.
You were almost there, man.
I got the M right.
You did.
I did.
The L was smiling in there too, I think.
He's smiling and laughing at me.
I'm not even attempting. I'm not even attempting.
What do you call it? Yeah. So we have been talking to Malachius Gaskin. You didn't correct me that time, so I must have gotten it right. Author of A Warrior's Garden. We really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show today. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. If people are looking for more, get your Google on and check out A Warrior's Garden. I highly recommend the book. Buy several copies, give them to your friends, and then go start yourself a garden. Hey, man, thanks a lot for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a great afternoon.
You too.
All right, and I think that went well, especially since I forgot to let him know that we really appreciate his patience, because I know that you guys try to have him on that one time and
it happens,
that loop thing or whatever. But
it happens.
Hey, I think it's great.
I agree.
And there's so many different ways to combat PTSD. You know, you've got the garden. You've got ride a motorcycle.
Yep.
You've got, DJing. You've got, doing stuff with a horse.
The gym, like you talked about.
Yeah.
There's a million different
ways
different
things,
you can deal with your issues.
Yeah. The key thing, veterans, is you find what your cup of tea is. And once you find your cup of tea, then you keep working on it. My cup of tea before I started the radio thing was skiing, Like, I wasn't trying to go to the Paralympics. Honest to God, when I started skiing, I loved it so much, and it was helping me, with PTSD. It was helping me with the rehabilitation. But driving from Denver to the mountains every single day, it got really costly.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, hey, you want to learn to ski? You want to do this learn to race camp? And I found out that all these learn to race camps, if you qualified, the VA and different organizations, they pay for you to stay up there in the mountains. So that's why I raced for so long, was because I did my thing and they paid for.
You know what doesn't work for treatment of PTSD and depression and anxiety?
What?
Completely ignoring it and hoping it goes away.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Right.
Or
drinking
that.
Jack Daniels.
Also
You're not
does
gonna find anything but lies on the bottom of a Jack Daniels bottle. It might taste good. It might smell good. But it's not going to fix the issue.
Not going to fix anything.
It's not going to fix the issue. Me and Rob know. Well, it is that time, everybody. We're going to go on a music break. And before we go on that music break, how'd you like the buttons, the new videos?
I like it a lot.
I'm
impressed. You put a lot of work into that. I'm extremely impressed.
I thought you'd like that.
I'm sure our sponsors will appreciate it as well.
Wait for the tribute to the troop. We've got a new thing you're going to love.
I thought you were on vacation.
You know what? I was on vacation, but I tell you what, when you have a passion for radio like I do, and Rob can tell you that I got a passion. All the interns can tell you that I've got a passion for radio. Even if I'm like not doing radio, I'm still doing radio. I'm still looking for that new thing, because everybody wants to see improvement. Everybody wants to see growth. And
And one day we'll apply it to this show.
with that being said, everybody, it is that time. We're going to go on a music break. And when we come off that music break, we're going to go to the what?
What the?
Moment. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain Show.
I'm Nico Morgan with the Challenge Athletes Foundation. I'm proud to be here with other nonprofits to support our troops get from the front line to the finish line.
You supported us, now we're supporting you.
Due to copyright laws, we cannot play via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. If you'd like to listen to our music, feel free to download our MBR app. You can find the app at our website, which is www.mbrradio.us. That's www.mikebravoradio.us. Or you can hit us up, iTunes, and Android store. Keep listening. We will be right back. I promise.
In just a few minutes, we will begin adding these artifacts to the molten bronze as we cast an historic bell, the Honor Bell.
The inspiration for the Honor Bell was about 3 years ago. I attended a funeral for a World War II veteran, and at the conclusion of the ceremony, there were no military honors given. And so I thought, there's got to be a better way to honor our service members, and certainly our veterans from the greatest generation. We had the concept of putting artifacts from military veterans in the actual bell.
We invited the Honor Bell Foundation from Denver, Colorado to come and watch us cast the first Honor Bell.
Each state line we stopped, we did a dignified transfer of these artifacts from one motorcycle group to the next, until we've gotten all the way here to Cincinnati and the Verdun Foundry, where we did one final dignified transfer.
It was a long journey, but it gave emphasis more to what we were doing and showing that the nation actually appreciated what we were doing.
I donated 2 of my husband's artifacts to the bell, his belt buckle from the Coast Guard and his dog tag from the Coast Guard. I just felt that the Coast Guard with the insignia on it was something that was really special.
We have artifacts from each major war since World War II.
The metal was so hot that it basically just melted those artifacts into the molten metal so that it makes those metals actually a part of the bell.
Working with the Verdun Company has just been an incredible experience for us. They've been working as partners with us all along the way, and without them we would never have the success that we have now for the first Honor Bell.
It's neat to be able to partner with the Honor Bell Foundation that has this mission to bring one of these bells to every national cemetery.
The Honor Bell Foundation, in partnership with Cincinnati's own Verdun Company, has forged the 1,000-pound bronze bell you see in left center field. After the pregame festivities, the Honor Bell will be escorted by the Patriot Guard Riders and Cincinnati Police, who will lead the bell away from the ballpark and begin the 1,192-mile journey to the bell's permanent home at Fort Logan National Cemetery in Denver.
Tolling of the bell really signifies a solemn moment. And each time it tolls, in our case 7 times, each one of those tolls represents something special and something that was lost to our country, and in this case, a veteran. The next sound you will hear after the moment of silence that we are about to have will be the first tolling of the Honor Bell at Fort Logan National Cemetery.
These bells will be put all over the country to celebrate these lives of these soldiers that given their life truly for our freedom that we enjoy here in the United States.
Due to copyright laws, we cannot play via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. If you'd like to listen to our music, feel free to download our MBR app. You can find the app at our website, which is www.mbrradio.us. That's www.mikebravoradio.us. Or you can hit us up iTunes and Android store. Keep listening. We will be right back. I promise.
Hi, my name is Star Baxter, and I grew up in rural Nebraska. When I was 19, I joined the United States Marine Corps and served as a military police officer from 1997 to 2005. Yes, I deployed to Kuwait and Iraq, and I saw firsthand, like many others, the toils of true hate that comes with war. I often just shook my head in disbelief, unable to comprehend what was happening to me mentally.
When I came home, my mom came to visit me and insisted that I had changed and was different. Honestly, that just pissed me off more. But as time passed, I realized I had changed. The biggest realization came in March of 2005, when I took my then 5-year-old daughter to Disneyland for her birthday. We got our tickets at the gate and then entered the park. Main Street was packed. We made it about 100 feet into the park, and already 5 people had pushed or shoulder bumped us. I felt my blood pressure rising and wanted everyone to just back away. When I felt the squeeze of my hand and I looked down, my daughter looked up at me with a smile and said, "Mom, are you okay? Let's just go to the beach." I was divorced and in the middle of a custody battle. I wanted to go home to Nebraska to be with family to help me, but I was court ordered to stay in California or give up custody of my daughter, so I was forced to go through my pain alone. I self-isolated, I drank a lot, and when I did land a civilian job, I struggled with personal interactions and could not comprehend the seemingly laid-back laziness of people in general. In 2011, I was finally able to move to Colorado to be closer to family and my sister. With the help and encouragement of my sister, I started to get back to my roots of horses. It started simple, a ride here and there, helping her clean horses or helping muck stalls. Then I was asked to go to one of the shows and show a horse for our friend Brenda. She put me on a horse named Silky. Silky was patient and kind and guided me through that show. The following year, I married my now husband, Wade Davis, and we purchased 10 acres. I purchased a horse and started working with her to get back to showing myself. I discovered that with horses, I was able to go to events and be around groups of people. Being on top of a horse, no one would crowd around near you, and if someone did get too close for comfort, I'd just lie to them and say my horse kicks. They move really quick when you say that. Also, I was able to focus on my horse and not myself and my own anxieties about being around people. Slowly over the last 5 years, people have asked for my assistance and guidance to help them in their horses. I learned that I really enjoy helping those who want help and coaching. I push others to work hard and to be the best that they can be. My coaching is focused on the sport of extreme trail riding or obstacle challenges, and I often joke that it's called stupid human tricks with horses, but in reality it's a sport in which very high level of trust and partnership needs to be in place in order to be competitive. A rider must trust that their horse will take care of them, and a horse needs to trust that the rider will not put them in a bad situation. It truly is about overcoming obstacles in life and in the arena. Photography was always a little hobby of mine. Taking pictures, I could essentially hide behind the camera and did not have to socialize with anyone. In 2018, at an obstacle challenge, I was just randomly taking pictures and I posted a few on Facebook. Those pictures got noticed, and with the help and encouragement of a few close friends, I agreed to take official pictures at an event, and to my disbelief, people actually paid me money for them. In the last 2 years, I have launched a website to advertise and promote my photography and offer horsemanship coaching. My goal and hope is that through my passions, horses, photography, and coaching, I can help others so they do not have to struggle alone like I did.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the best station that plays today's hits and today's connections to help our military transition to civilian life. Keep watching. Due to copyright laws, we cannot play via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. If you'd like to listen to our music, feel free to download our MBR app. You can find the app at our website, which is www.mbrradio.us. That's www.MikeBravoRadio.us. Or you can hit us up, iTunes and Android store. Keep listening. We will be right back. I promise.
HTrain show.
Perfect. All right, and we are back, and once again, you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain show, and you know we didn't get a chance earlier, but we're gonna do it now.
Yeah, we are.
Broadcasting from the Colorado Media School here in colorful Colorado. It's another edition of the HTrain show. We're here. Our only mission is to show veterans and our men and women in uniform all over the world that there are more programs out there beyond the VA. My name's HTrain.
And I'm Rob.
And thank you so much for riding with us. Okay, so since we did that piece, I'll probably have to like cut and paste or whatever. But hey, you know, we always have issues, but the podcast is always perfect.
That's so weird how that happens.
Yeah,
I like that.
But ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is me and Rob's favorite segment. It is the What the segment.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad? Nope.
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
What the? Oh, man.
That is the best part of the radio program.
I love
right there.
it. I love it. You know, you would think after playing that so many times we would get sick of it.
But here we are.
But here we are. No, we don't get sick of it all. Okay, so the reason why, I'll just be honest with you. One of the reasons, and you know, we were going to talk. We was going to interview one of my good friends. He's a veteran that did this big, huge PTSD march with Simplify Fund this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were telling
He's
me.
in Texas, so I figured, you know, since we had one live interview, I didn't want to push the envelope for 2 live interviews.
Right.
Because as you can tell, it's kind of difficult with Zoom sometimes for this radio show with the video and everything. Okay, and I'm kind of glad I did that because our video, it keeps like going in and out because of the bandwidth. I really think that has something to do with the fires because at my house, I'm supposed to get like 300 megs per second. And yesterday I called Comcast and I'm getting like 87 megs per second. And I really think it has something to do with the fires because it didn't start going crazy like that until this whole fire stuff started. So we didn't want to push the
I understood
envelope.
the word fire. Everything else you just said?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, I didn't want to push the envelope for the bandwidth. So if our video's dragging, that's probably the reason why. But our sound is going to be immaculate. Okay.
And we look amazing.
Oh, of
I mean,
course.
I do.
Of course, I do too. I I even put some turtle wax on. You know, hey, I look good. I look
I
good.
used deodorant and everything today. It was awesome.
if we need an intern so that,
To carry around deodorant and turtle
well,
wax?
yeah, well, push buttons and stuff, because I'm over here like, oh, there we go.
Uh-oh.
I look good kind of thing.
Brush
Okay.
my teeth, deodorant.
So, what we're going to talk about is the riding challenge and the bike rally that you went to.
Yep.
So I did some research just so you know what we're talking about.
Wow.
Okay.
You worked hard, man. You did research?
I'm telling you. Okay, so what I did was something pretty easy that anybody can do, and if you don't think about it, man, it's not really that hard. The hardest mentally thing that you had to do was save the gas receipts and stuff like that, and so that it shows us. Let me bring up the our little video so that people can see us. There we go. All right, so if you're looking at this, and I made this a little too big. Okay,
Story
here
of
we
my
go.
life.
So basically, riders that successfully have there's a saddle sore 1,000-mile challenge. So it doesn't mean that you have to go there and back 1,000 miles or 1,200 or 1,500 miles. It just means straight shot 1,000 miles, and once you get done with the 1,000 miles, within 24 hours, you got this challenge, and you turn in your receipts. So basically, every time you pay for gas and get the receipt, you have it printed. You take a picture of it right in front of your speedometer. And then once you get all these receipts, that's pretty much the only thing that you need to really worry about while you're on the bike. Everything else you can do when you get home. That's what I did. So you take these receipts, take a picture of it in front of your speedometer. Then you go on MapQuest, and then you enter all the addresses that you stopped in those gas stations, and it pinpoints it on the map to where everything, it shows your whole route and everything. And, when I was asking you how you did the whole route, I could tell when you're like, just keep your receipts. So I had a feeling that you didn't really know how to really describe to me what to do. So I just did the MapQuest thing.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And then I indicated, like, what
MapQuest is still a thing?
I know, right?
I didn't realize MapQuest still existed.
Cast told me, well, just put in all these things and it will circle it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So where I started from, and then add stop. And I'm like, holy crap. This actually worked, Kansas was the toughest one. Just because I was only getting 150 miles a gas tank.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Kansas was the toughest one because you don't want to pass up a gas station.
I'm aware. I ran out of gas in Kansas.
Oh, this one time?
When I did my iron butt.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, but I carry gas on the bike, so.
Oh, okay.
I carry cans of gas just in case.
See, I was really worried about that. I didn't know how to take a picture of the gas can right next to them. I didn't know.
In front of the Kansas state trooper that stopped behind you. Yeah. Wave, officer.
So I didn't know how to do that. So but anyways, so I turned all this information in. And the guy was like, well, hell, you've sent more information than we need, so I can certify you here. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is awesome, And I told Rob, and he's like, what? He's like, I haven't even got my email. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll email him, and I'll tell him.
I got friends in the Iron Butt Associate. Look at you. That's awesome.
I'm a premier member.
Yeah, you are. That and $1.95 will get you a cup of coffee.
That's so funny. But, hey, You know, the thing that I liked about this is it gave me a goal. It gave me something to achieve. And I honestly believe that that helps you with your PTSD when you have a goal to achieve and you're working towards something. You know, you have your eye on the prize. You know, kind of like if you're bicycling, you know?
Oh, God, I hope not. Oh.
Well, I mean,
something's gone horribly wrong in my life if I'm pedaling a bicycle.
well, I remember I had bicycled. My eye was on the prize. I was trying to do this thing for the this Rocky Mountain thing where you go 1,000 miles in 5 days on a bicycle.
Icky.
Yeah. You ride all the way to like Estes Park and
Dude,
Winter
I swear
Park.
to God,
and
if
all
the
that
word
stuff.
run comes out of your mouth, I'm going to throw this headset down and walk out of the studio.
So when I did that, you know, it brought me satisfaction. You know, I was like, yeah, I did it, you know, kind of thing. Well, then I'm all excited here, okay? And then Rob doesn't talk about all the stuff that he does achieve. But this guy, he does a lot of stuff, okay?
What?
I'm getting ready to toot his horn for him, all right?
What?
This guy, this last weekend, he did this thing called the Devil's Stone Run. It's a realization after traveling around the world on a motorcycle across state and national borders through secret roads. We realized that some of the most beautiful scenery, historic landmarks, mountain twisties, wildlife, and life lived widely was right in our backyard as we traveled long hours and hard miles to arrive all other runs. We asked ourselves, why not do a Wild West Wyoming? So there's a rally called the Devil's Stone Run. And it goes, I can read this or I can just simply explain to these guys from Devil's Tower. You went from Devil's Tower to
Yellowstone National Park.
Yellowstone National Park and then back here.
Yep, and then home.
And then like he was calculating these miles and you're probably sitting at, what was it, like 1,600 miles?
Yeah,
said?
plus or minus. We made a couple of stops to see, like, my son rode with me.
Right.
It was his first rally, and he rode his Harley XL Iron 1200. So the Devil's Stone Run, yeah, like you said, it's in Wyoming. It's put on by a company called Go Fast, Don't Die. Get your Google on, folks. It's the coolest Instagram page you've ever seen. This year, they were talking about canceling it because of COVID, and everything is shut down in Wyoming. Instead, what they decided to do was do the run, take all of the proceeds and all of the donations, and every business we stopped at, they donated the money to the businesses that we stopped at. So all those rural businesses, we stopped at the Spotted Horse Saloon in the middle of absolutely nowhere, Wyoming. I'm talking you can see for 300 miles in every direction, there's a bar right in the center of it. And, yeah, and all of a sudden we come rolling in heavy with all these motorcycles, and they made them a donation.
That's
it was
awesome.
Super cool, dude. It was super cool.
That's awesome. And I don't care who you are. You know, there's some people that are scared of motorcycles, riders. But I tell you what, motorcycle riders are the biggest charity benefiters ever.
Yep.
If you want a nonprofit to get some kind of money fundraiser,
find a motorcycle
you create a poker run.
Yep.
And
watch the money roll in.
the money roll in.
Every one of them is just as generous. They'll literally give you the shirt that they are wearing off of their back. Are you chilly? Here, take mine.
Yeah.
And they will literally do that. And not every. As a matter of fact, there was only a couple of veterans on this ride, but the group of people themselves are just hyper cool. I'm one of those people where if we just met each other, you are now my friend.
Mm.
Now picture that with, a campground full of motorcycle riders. You're now all best friends. It's crazy the way it worked out. The music selection was completely eclectic. We went from, and I'm not exaggerating, Cardi B to Whitesnake in this one party. It was amazing the way, like, DJ, how did you do that? How did you put those together? It was awesome, man. It was a super cool event. A great company, great people. Dudes doing all kinds of stupid tricks on their bikes. I say dudes. There were a lot of young lady riders on this, and I'm not talking like old ladies, like motorcycle groups, old ladies kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a lady. There was a young lady there from Denver. She had this like 1980 Harley Sportster. It was bright purple, with a sticker on the side of it that said "Kapow" in big letters. She wore like old classic horseback riding purple leather gloves, a full denim suit.
I wonder, because I know that my friend Kim, she went to Wyoming. I wonder if she went there, because that sounds like her bike.
It's pretty hideous looking, but it's super cool. Yeah, it's the bike is totally her personality.
Okay, right.
You know, it's just her gig, and yeah, it's. I'm sure she loves it. You know my feelings on Harley Davidson motorcycles.
Oh no, she's not. She doesn't have a Harley. She
this
has
is a Harley.
She has a Honda, because somebody had posted something, and I was being a smart aleck, and I'm like, he's paranoid. He must ride a Honda, and she's like, hey, I ride a Honda, and I'm like, oops, sorry,
No, this was a Sportster.
Okay.
And there were all kinds of different bikes there. There were, I had my Honda there. There was Suzuki's, Yamahas. My buddy Andrew rode a Kawasaki 900. None of these bikes were designed to hold like camp gear, and dudes had like sleeping bags stacked up as high as they were on the back of these bikes. It was awesome, dude. It was a fun ride. It was a super fun ride, and the chance to do that with my kid made it even cooler.
That's awesome, because he's had his license for like he's had his bike less than 6 months.
Yeah, it's got 2,000 miles on it. It's he's had it 6 months, 8 months, 6 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very long at all.
Right.
And it was good for him. He got to be around. When you surround yourself with people that are better at something than you are, it took his skill level and elevated it dramatically. He had a few mess ups, but he did well.
Yeah.
he had a few like whoops moments, but he did very well, and it was a great ride. And the fact that all the money went to COVID relief in the greater Wyoming area made me even happier.
So that's it, you guys. Veterans. Me and Rob, we did the riding challenge. We did he did his bike rally. We're
he
sitting
did his
here.
iron butt.
We're tired.
Premier
and
member.
then when we come home, and then it's like, what the? There's a fire everywhere.
It's the apocalypse out there right now.
And me and my wife, we were talking, and I'm like, I don't understand. How these fires are going on. And, she told me, she's like, it doesn't have to be just, like somebody throwing their cigarette out the window.
No.
She's like, it could be something as easy as a water bottle. Okay. And I'm like, I don't understand. So if you take a water bottle, and this is a information for everybody, make sure that you don't leave your water bottle in your vehicle when it's hot out, because the light can go through your water bottle and it can burn a hole in your seat or something. And there's a lot of people that throw trash out. Maybe they throw trash out in the lakes and stuff like that. If the sun is reflected in the water just a little right degree, it can start a fire. It can start magnifying and burn
like you did
a tree branch.
Like you did when you were kids with the magnifying glass.
Exactly. So it could be like that. It could be somebody that properly didn't put out their campfire.
And there's a lot of hunters out there right now. So
yeah. It could be something as easy as, okay, you're having a fire, and the fire, it pops. Everybody knows that, about the popping, that little ash that just went, up in the air. It traveled and it landed just right on a piece of like dead grass, dead pine or whatever. And it doesn't happen, in 2 hours. It can happen overnight. It just builds up like a snowball and creates a huge boulder, and that's where we are today. So
Fort Collins, Colorado, legitimately looks like the apocalypse.
Yeah.
We came down from Laramie, Wyoming. Laramie was 100 degrees. We come down 287 into Colorado, and as soon as we get towards Fort Collins, the temperature drops to like 60 degrees, and And Rob thought we were riding into the rain, and no, it was snowing ash in Fort Collins, Colorado. It was amazing. It does. The sky is all orange and everything, and it looks like the apocalypse, legitimately. It's pretty rough.
I ride in all weather. Rob rides in all weather, and I drove today because I wasn't trying to get all that stuff in my.
And I didn't want to get back on that motorcycle after all that. I took the truck because it was air conditioned. Let me be clear about it. I needed to cool off a little bit, and I pounded Gatorade and water. It was a hot ride home.
And I will say this, we definitely need to work on your bike.
Huh?
Okay. We definitely need to work on your bike. I think my ride was a little bit easier because I have a cup holder that had the drink. So where I could, pound water and Gatorade, while I'm riding.
I stop at as many bars as possible, man. You can only drink so many Jack Daniels on those rides.
Well, you need a cup holder for your water bottle, and I need to help you put a cup holder on your motorcycle so that you can.
That's I wear a full face helmet. How would I do that?
Well, you can't lift it up?
No, it's solid.
Oh.
The only possible answer, I'll have to just stop at Starbucks and use the straws.
Or check this out. You could drill a hole right into your face mask
I'm glad
for
you
your
said mask, 'cause
straw.
for a second there I was like, I'm not drilling a hole in my face, brother.
No, you could drill a hole in your face mask and use a straw.
I guess that's a possibility. Or I could do what I do when I wear a Camelback.
You could do that too.
Your face is awesome, dude.
You could do that too.
Your face is awesome, dude. Oh, well, yeah.
So, but anyways, so those are the two rides that we're talking about. The Iron Butt. Anybody can do that.
Dude, I got this comment.
What?
Stop making the drink motion so much, Joel. Apparently, it looks like something.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Talking about Nick, we need to.
We probably shouldn't.
we need to call and see if he can reach out to his friend Joe Exotic. We gotta do another interview with Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic is out of jail. I saw him.
Really?
If I'm lying, I'm dying, dude.
Okay.
He was hanging out at the Silver Dollar Saloon in Cody, Wyoming last night, 2 nights ago.
Wow.
We'll call my son, and he'll hand on the Bible, dude. Joe Exotic was at the Silver Dollar Saloon in Cody, Wyoming.
Wow.
Yeah. And other people were, wearing his T-shirt. It was crazy, dude.
Did you, go up to him and say, hey?
Thanks for the interview on stuff. No, man, I'm going to get sued if he finds you. Hey, you're that guy in Colorado that was interviewing me from jail.
Where was my consulate visit?
That's dangerous ground right there.
Oh, everybody, it is that time. We're going to go on our next music break, and when we come off the music break, we're going to be running right into what we call the ugly truth, where warriors need to build warriors up and not tear them down. Tune in for more details. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain Show.
Military Broadcast Radio Network. My name is Dominic Lawson, and I am the host of The Startup Life, the show for entrepreneurs and career-minded professionals. And we are so glad and so eager to bring The Startup Life to the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Now, you may be wondering, who the hell am I? What the hell is The Startup Life? I'm glad you asked. So, first me. I'm an Army vet for 5 years, and while I was in the service, I had all these ideas for starting a company and stuff like that, but I wasn't sure what to do about that. So when I got out of the service, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not ready just yet. So I went back to work. The thing is about when you have that entrepreneurial mindset, those ideas just never go away. So I talked to my wife, and coming to find out, she had the same idea about starting a company. So we talked about it, and we started a company. We started Owls LLC, an education consulting firm where we write curriculum and do professional development with teachers, school districts, nonprofits, and things of that nature. And then from there, I started noticing all of these different business philosophies, the way a school has its business model, another business have their business model, and I started writing this blog. And the thing is about that blog is that, it was taking a lot of time. So my wife, being the smarter half of us, said, you know what, you should start a podcast. So in November 1st of 2016, that's exactly what we did. We started The Startup Life. And so that was 3.5 years ago. And now we've grown the show to over 160 episodes. Now, what you get from The Startup Life is we bring in the best business minds from around the world. We're talking Mark Randolph, the co-founder and first CEO of Netflix. We're talking about Tom Golisano, the founder and chairman of Paychex. We're even talking about the chairman of JetBlue Airways and Stanford business professor, Joel Peterson. And so we bring all of these great business minds and we bring them to you, MBR. So that way you can scale your entrepreneurial mindset. You can scale your leadership acumen, whether you're still in the service or you're about to become a veteran and start that path of civilian life. So if you're ready to upgrade your entrepreneurial mindset and you're ready to just totally level up, join me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Let's go.
Man, we're stuck. The coronavirus is really taking a huge toll on everyone, especially people with disabilities.
When I found out about the Paralympics being postponed until 2021, I felt devastated right away. But CAF has really helped.
I was so excited to hear from the Challenge Athletes Foundation that I received a grant for some training, which is going to be so helpful once I'm able to get active and back at the barn.
This grant was truly a ray of sunshine in an otherwise dark time.
I'm smiling because I received my first CAF grant to travel all over the world.
I would just like to take a moment and thank the Challenge Athletes Foundation and their donors for me to get a new basketball wheelchair.
They're giving everybody that I care about and I know hope.
I'm so excited to get running legs.
Thank you, CAF, for supporting me in my dreams.
I cannot wait until we beat this pandemic together.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tim Wakeside. I'm the president of Tee It Up for the Troops. And like you, I've been kind of cooped up at home, and this coronavirus has us all dealing with these stay-at-home orders. And we decided, let's get outside, let's have a little fun, and let's see if we can also support America's veterans and military families. So our team at Tee It Up for the Troops put their heads together, and we're really excited to launch our new Step It Up for the Heroes Challenge. So the Step It Up for the Heroes Challenge is a very simple exercise where you can do it just about anywhere, and our heroes, our American military veterans, they stepped up for us, and so it's time for us to step up for them. As I said, this is a challenge you can do with anyone. You can do it anywhere. You can do it any day. We've actually come up with 6 different activities. Some are golf related, some are kind of social related, like a virtual happy hour or something like that. And you can even pick your own choice of an activity if that meets your needs better. So have some fun with it. It's easy to do. All you have to do is go to our Tee It Up for the Troops website, which is teeitupforthetroops.org. You'll register on our website. When you register, we'd ask you to consider making a donation. All of the donations that you make will go direct towards supporting our veterans and our military families. And once you register and sign in, you complete your challenge. And we ask that when you do your challenge, have fun with it, capture some photos, capture some videos, and then take it viral. Go and post this on your social media sites. Tag Tee It Up for the Troops. Add us into your post, and then you go out and we ask you to challenge others to also do this. So the Step It Up for Heroes challenge, again, tag us, include us, and then move on to inviting other friends and family to get involved with this as well. At the end of this, we will be selecting some of the best videos and photos, the most inspiring, the most fun, and then we'll be sending the winners a pullover like I have on right here for Tee It Up for the Troops. So as I mentioned, all the information you need can be found on our website at teeitupforthetroops.org, and you can get everything you need there to figure out how to register and get involved. So the reality of the situation we're in today with this pandemic is that all of us are having to deal with very difficult situations, but the truth is that our combat veterans, many of whom are already dealing with PTSD and high anxieties and other things related to combat, maybe even thoughts of suicide, they're really having a difficult time. And so it's time for us to step up and support them. And so I encourage you to please go to our website, register. You can ship it up, you can put it up, you can do all kinds of different activities to support our American heroes. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and
All right, we are back. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain show, and whoo, I tell you what, I timed that pretty good, Rob. I came in here, I thought I was gonna have to change the commercial, and we was on the last song. We got us talking. I got away with the time. Imagine that.
So for those that don't know, when we say, hey, we're going on a music break, this is our chance to walk outside and smoke a cigar, smoke a cigarette, shoot the breeze, chill out for a second, take the headphones off. Yeah, that's the only reason we play music here.
Yeah.
And their speakers are outside, so we sit out there, and as soon as the song starts to end, we come sprinting back in here to get ready for the radio show again.
Yeah, we need our time to kind of recharge our batteries. Well, especially me, because
Well, and there's nothing better than a cigar that makes it through the whole radio show. I mean, that just makes my night, dude. That's perfect.
But, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is time for the ugly truth.
So ugly.
I don't think we should talk about the ugly truth.
So, I was in Indiana, and...
No poop, no lie. There I was. Completely inverted. How did I know I was inverted? My air medals were dangling in my face. I love stories that start like that.
I was in Indiana, and Rob posted a great picture, and if I was smart, I would show the picture, but
we're gonna have him on at some point. Don't worry.
It had a veteran that basically, he was bragging about something and saying, why you gotta hate, and then another veteran had the same kind of sign below, and it said, "You suck."
This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me scroll through my Instagram. Let me see if I can find that thing.
Okay.
Because it says we need to start building each other up, not tearing each other down.
Right.
Veterans need to build each other up, not tear each other down. And a dude standing next to him holding a sign that said, "This guy sucks."
Right. And the biggest thing about this, okay, is it's really big in the disabled veteran in that category, okay? Let's say a double amputee, they get a brand new house, all right? Well, then this other veteran that he's like just having a hard time, he's homeless, he doesn't have a house, well, he starts hating on this double amputee because he's got this house. I fully feel that every veteran is the same. No veteran is better than any other veteran, okay? But instead of hating on this veteran that's getting this house, we need to appreciate that this is happening, because my father, he was in Vietnam, and when he got off the plane, people spit on him, people yelled at him, and people from the VFW, people from the American Legion, the old school veterans, they fought really hard to get recognition for us new guys. So what do we do here lately? Whenever something good is happening to new era veterans, we're sitting there and we're hating on that veteran.
Yep.
And that shouldn't be how it is. And we gotta stop that.
Social media has made it easy for us to tear each other down instead of building each other up. So the name of the Instagram account is Veteran with a Sign. And there's a lot of those accounts going around, athlete with a sign and things like that. And yeah, I don't know that they realized how powerful that message was when they made that simple Instagram post. And it's the truth. You see someone else being successful, and it's so easy to go on and, oh, they didn't earn that. Oh, I wonder, did they really deploy? Did they actually step outside the wire? Comments like that are not helpful.
Right.
And you're not helping anyone. You're not building anyone up. We have a whole radio program, a whole radio network designed and built around building veterans up. And that's what we need to be doing, is helping each other out. If you're feeling angry towards the veteran community and you want to let it out and you want to talk, come on. We're giving you a platform. Come on out here and talk it out. Or better yet, call this show and we'll talk with you.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Yeah, in fact, I tell you what, if you have something to say, the phone lines are open, 720-619-0627. Well, we'll put you right on, I tell you.
I find that most veterans that are jerks, you were a jerk before you ever joined.
Yeah.
You were probably just a jerk of a person to start with.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge population, but they're out there. Build each other up. Stop turning each other down, man. Let's elevate each other. I love seeing veterans writing books. I'm pointing to the board that the people off camera can't see. People writing books. I love veterans starting not-for-profits, as long as that not-for-profit is doing something. The blogs like Havoc Journal and Doctrine Man, all that stuff. All those people writing things like that. That's good stuff, and that you're being proactive. Keep doing that. Be proactive. Take an active role in your community. And when someone takes an active role in their community, don't beat them down for it. Help them out. I mean,
right.
Or shut up and step up.
Right. Right. Like me and Rob, we were talking about the bike challenge and stuff, and I was telling him that I got my certification. He's like, I did my stuff before you, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to send him an email just to let him know, It's stuff like that. Instead of getting upset or hating on a veteran, let's say this WMT got this house, Instead of hating on that guy, it's real easy for you to talk to the double amputee. Hey, do you think you might be able to talk to that nonprofit? I'm I'm hurting. I know that I might not be able to get a house because I'm severely injured like yours, like, you.
But what resources are
but
available
what
for me?
resources can you help me? And that veteran will connect, It's like that old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. It's the same thing,
Just as cliched,
Yeah.
you get what you give. If
Yeah.
you give negativity, that's what you get back.
Exactly.
If you help my buddy Ron is a very successful bow hunter. He saw, hey, folks, everybody needs a hand with, getting better with their bow. So that dude started a little group of people that get together, go over to his property, and they shoot bows and arrows. He was proactive about it. He sought people out. And it's become a social thing. And it's highly therapeutic. Highly therapeutic. There's something about hitting the target and hitting the goal and getting better. But anyway, we need to do tribute.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we got it's a different kind of tribute to the troop, everybody. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is tribute to the troops.
Tribute to Troops, sponsored by High Style and XP, custom quality furnishings and gifts with attitude.
This is an MBR moment of heroism.
Sir, I don't know how to tell this story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Frank Hachia was born in 1920 in Odell, Oregon. When he was a young boy, he and his father moved back to Japan to help take care of the family farm. He and his father then returned to Oregon in 1940. Frank finished high school and was attending college when he was drafted into the U.S. Army right after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Frank was assigned to the 32nd Infantry, Regiment 7th Infantry, as a Japanese interpreter for military intelligence service. After his training, he was sent to the Kwajalein Islands and then off to the Battle of Leyte. On January 1st, Frank volunteered to cross a valley to question a Japanese enemy soldier. When he was returning, he was shot under confusing circumstances by a Japanese sniper or one of his own people. Frank was able to make his way back to his unit, where he was treated for his wounds and able to give a report of what he had learned during his interrogation. A few days later, on January the 3rd, 1945, he passed away from his wounds. He was posthumously awarded a Silver Star, given an honorary degree from the University of Oregon in 2008, and Hachia Hall was named in his honor, located at the Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California. On behalf of everyone here at MBR and the HTrain Show, our hearts and prayers go out to the family. And as always, we thank you for your service and sacrifice. Technician 3rd Class Frank Hachia, end of watch, January 3rd, 1945.
Okay, and we are back Once again, if you missed that tribute to a troop, you were listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain show. We're going to go on a music break, but before that, we want to say thank you to Amanda Opdyke for her research and Chris East for doing the voiceover for the tribute to a troop. It's a very special moment in this radio program.
Yes, it is.
That I feel that it's the least that we can do, especially for those
remembering those that came before us.
Right.
Look them up, folks. Look up those names. We don't put those names out there just because. We put them out for a reason.
Exactly. So we're going to go on a music break so that we can settle it, because I think everybody gets a little teary-eyed when it comes up to taps. We're going to go on music break, and when we come back, it's that final time. It's a 2-minute warning. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain Show.
Project Sanctuary helps reconnect military families so our nation's heroes can finally come home. Find out how you can help at projectsanctuary.us.
Hey everybody, it's HTrain here. Join us every Monday night on mbradio.us, where we talk to top nonprofits every 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I forgot to mention that, Rob.
You did, but you did mention it. That's okay. But yeah, we're looking to have all those veteran companies or all those companies help us out. We're also looking to feature you on the show. We want to talk to you. So give us a call. We'd love to have you on the show.
Right. What we do is we interview top nonprofits that are more focused on the family and not so much on the checkbook. If you can't get online, that's okay, because our podcast comes on right after the show ends on Stitcher, iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, you name it, we're on it. So, and you don't want to miss a show because you never know what I'm going to say next.
Sometimes you don't even want to know.
So, listen to the HTrain show right here on MBR, giving our veterans a voice.
Up in the air! Woohoo!
Of Warrior Voices, and you're listening to the HTrain Show.
And we are back. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain show. And we are at the, what is it? It's the
2-minute warning.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
It's the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. What we learned today.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Sponsored by Common Ground Golf Course in Colorado. A place for all and all the game teaches.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is the HTrain show, and I don't think we had any mishaps.
Not that I can point at, no. So nobody gets to win a hat or T-shirt today because we actually did okay.
But, I tell you what, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you back.
It's good to help even more veterans. And I tell you what, I'm gonna give you the station number if you're a veteran and you need help, or another veteran that needs help. Reach out, 720-619-0627. Me and Rob will work together, and we will help you out because we're not just a radio show. We're here to help you guys. So, Rob, what did you learn today?
Apparently, I learned that Callista Flockhart is married to Harrison Ford. I have not Googled this yet, but this is what I learned today. I had no idea that was a thing. I had no idea. You?
I think the biggest thing that I learned was, it's funny when I say it, okay? And I thought about this when I was writing. Don't spit in the wind, okay? But
don't tug on Superman's cape.
But that's an analogy. What I mean by spitting in the wind is don't take today for granted. Look at the future, If you're having issues with PTSD, find your key, find your cup of tea and work on you.
It's there.
And don't be trying to go and find a relationship. Work on you, because if you spit in the wind without knowing which direction, it's going to land in your face. And I found that out a couple of times. And telling you, going on I-70, that's really embarrassing when you hawk a loogie and it goes right in your eye. So there you go. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Rob, you know what? Clear us out. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
that's the show for today. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. Remember that you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight. Remember, we're here for you, not for us.
Giving our veterans a voice.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the best station that plays today's
Military
hits and today's
Broadcast Radio,
connections to help
giving
our military
veterans a
transition
voice.
to civilian life. Keep watching. Due to copyright laws, we cannot play via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. If you'd like to listen to our music, feel free to download our MBR app. You can find the app at our website, which is www